Welcome to Practical Psychology Podcast, episode number 10. I'm Joseph, the host. Today we are very happy to have Eddie Gu joining us for today's podcast. Welcome, Eddie.
Hello, Joseph. Hello, everyone.
Let me introduce Eddie first. Eddie is currently a Master of Arts counseling student in Yorkville University in his second term of practicum. He's a licensed financial security advisor based in Montreal, Quebec. Eddie is very passionate to support clients' mental health and also empowering them for their financial situation, helping them for financial independence and also mental health wellness here. Eddie, the first questions a lot of the viewers, our team want to ask you is, tell us more about your financial background and your occupation before being a psychotherapist.
Okay. Yes, I am a licensed financial security advisor. Mostly is also called insurance broker. Before I joined Free Counseling Society Canada, I was working at this place, this financial company, which offers free financial education classes to everyone, which I got in touch with a lot of people who has financial needs and curious about uh, certain knowledge about budgeting, about debt management, and also about some government benefit. And sometimes it is related to mental health. Therefore, when I joined here, I realized I can combine those two because sometimes mental health issue is financial issue. When you have enough funding, you will be able to solve your problem. So, and when I started practicing here, I noticed some of our clients, they truly have financial issue, but they don't consider it as a huge stress because they have to deal with it every day. So they think it's normal. However, it contributes a lot of stress and pressure to their mental health. After I talk to them, ask if they're willing to discuss the financial, and they start talking, and we figure out a lot of things just based on going through their monthly expenses.
Thank you, Eddie here. In psychotherapy, we use the biopsychosocial model, focusing on the
Mhm,
biological,
mhm.
psychosocial aspect. And we also
Yeah.
use the holistic model. So financial intelligence, education is one of the well-being building
Mhm.
blocks for
Yeah.
emotional intelligence, mental health, physical health, exercise. Can you
Yes.
tell us a little bit about when you are seeing clients in psychotherapy, what are some of the financial troubles, challenges, or the lack of information?
Yes, that's a very good question. First thing is because we're doing a nonprofit, often we see some client they have debt problem. And
Mm,
one very common debt problem I see is they have credit card debt.
mm,
And some has maybe $1,000 or $2,000 credit card debt, and some may have 4 or 5 thousand.
mhm,
And people don't often realize the credit card they charge a lot of interest. Between the lowest is looking at 10 to 12, but the highest you're looking at 20 to 22%. That's a huge interest rate. And basically they're paying the minimum, which only covers the interest and partial of their premium.
mm.
So the debt accumulating and they don't realize it. That's why usually when I saw a client, when they have a credit card problem, they mention debt problem, I often ask what type of debt you're talking about. Is it car loan? Is it
Mhm.
mortgage or line of credit? And but most of them will just say, "Oh, it's credit card debt," because credit card is very easy to get for them, and they
Yeah.
just spend it without knowing what type of interest they're paying for. And there are ways to solve that problem with credit transfer, balance transfer, or line of credit. Because line of credit you're looking at is normally around 10%. However, the problem with those things, those options, is you need to have a better credit score to qualify. If you're stuck into the credit card debt for a long time, your credit score is going to drop and you won't be qualified for any further options. That's why usually just need to ask how long you are having that problem, what's your credit score, and to decide what our next option could be, and maybe can improve their life quality.
Yeah, thank you, Eddie. Here, the clients that we are seeing, as you know, they come from so many backgrounds. A lot of time they need multiple professionals. For example, they might need a psychotherapist on top of a physiotherapist, occupational therapist, or social workers, or specialty doctors.
Yes.
Let's say if a client has $5,000 credit card debt, who can they seek help from? Which professional?
Usually financial security advisor, accountant, or the bank advisor. They can always all help with this situation. For example, with the bank financial advisor, what they can offer to the client is a line of credit, which is already a suitable option for release some of the pressure, because basically you're cut your interest by half. Another thing is balance transfer. Normally, there are certain companies, credit card companies, and bank, they offer 0 interest for 12 months, the promotional rate from the credit card. And they allow you to do balance transfer, which means you have a year of 0 interest to pay off your debt. However, before offering those options to your client, you need to know if the client has repayment plan. Because for some clients, they got into a debt for a reason. They impulse shopper, or they can control their urge to spend their money. You only want to offer those options to them when you know they are actively paying back their debt. Otherwise, you're giving them an option, they just spend it out and they get more debt.
Oh, more debt.
Yes. So for credit card debt, let's say 5,000, basically credit transfer, balance transfer to another 0 interest promotional rate credit card is the best option. Line credit
And
is
how
the
much money can they save? Let's say they have $5,000 credit card right now. If you were to do the transfer every month.
Every month. Okay. So basically,
just as an estimate here.
Yes. Basically, if average credit card interest is 1%, 1% per month. So let's say $5,000, you're looking at $50 interest per month at least. And that's the minimum payment. $50 interest plus some of the premium. And it might not look too much, but if you're ignoring it for a year, you're looking at $600 interest to pay.
Oh, wow. That's a lot here for $50.
Yes. So if you accumulate it over the time, you're gonna more debt, and those interest plus the add to the premium, you're looking at more debt in a year or two. So if you do the balance transfer with 0%, and if you're able to pay it off within a year, you're looking at, so you're saving at least $600 interest.
Wow. Yeah, $600 is significant. Many months
Yes,
of groceries there.
yes. And
Mm.
also that's the average interest rate. Some
Wow.
company they charge you 20% interest for the credit card. So for $5,000, 20% is $1,000 interest per year.
Okay, so Eddie here,
Mm,
to go a little bit backtrack here. So if you're working with a client, you
yeah.
mentioned about some of the impulsive spending, the
Hmm.
reason of getting to the debt. So you will be working on the psychotherapy aspects for those probably addiction behavior.
Yes,
And then you also add on, refer the client to a financial professional like those
yes,
bank advisor.
yes,
Okay.
yes. Basically, to understand my financial a little bit more is usually we break it down to four components: income, expenses, saving, and debt. The basic one is income and expenses. When income surpass expenses, you're having some money for saving. When it's less than the expenses, you accumulate debt. And when you lost income, the debt explode. So what we're trying to do, if that's with clients' consent, I would like to usually do is going over their weekly expenses. Now, not monthly, weekly is more detailed. Ask what they spend every day and ask if that purchase is necessary. For example, one example we use very often in the financial class is we already got a consent from the client to use as an example, is he reached out for debt management, some financial advice. And his question is, I don't know where the money goes. I just got nothing. I couldn't save anything. So we went through their credit card bill. We found out he spent $1,500 each month on CAC, just a fine dining every
Oh,
month. So we asked why you go there every single week, spend $300 on a
it is
dinner.
for sure a nice restaurant, the cake.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, after a long week, we need to relax. So we just go there to have a fancy dinner. But that
Yeah.
leads to another question. What's the pressure? You said it's a long week. So it must mean that you have a lot of stress and pressure. So
Mm.
we look into that
Yeah.
and then we ask question, could we eliminate these expenses?
Mm.
If you do, you're saving $1,500 per month. That's your saving.
So
So
in a way, Eddie here, you identify the symptoms,
yeah,
spending $1,000, $500 on dining out in the cake
yeah,
is because of the stress.
yes.
And then after you dissect this, you're working on
Mhm.
diversify more stress management strategies for the client.
Yes. Just resolve their stress and they don't feel the need to spending more money. They're saving more and their financial get better. They reduce their financial stress.
Oh, yeah, because currently it looks like the behavior going to the cake for fine dining has
Mhm.
very short-term benefits and long-term debt implication and suffering.
Yes, yes. So, and it works for everyone because simply in the session, just ask how you pay for that, how much you pay for your rent. Let the let the client repeat how much money they spend on everything. And they sometimes
Mm.
will realize, oh my God, spend so many money on subscription, on
Oh
electricity.
yeah.
You don't have to do analysis. Sometimes just ask them to repeat it. They will see the problem.
Eddie, when you are broaching this topic with a client,
Mhm.
when they are talking to you, are they surprised?
They are normally surprised about how much money they spent.
Okay. So they haven't talked about this topic with anybody else. You're the first one to initiate this topic in details.
Yes, yes, exactly. And that's one interesting thing to see because
Mhm.
normally those expenses they accumulated like our negative emotion. Sometimes it accumulates. When you
Mhm.
spend, let's say, on Netflix, you spend
Yeah. Mhm.
maybe $15 per month, but you barely watch it. And you think, oh, it's only $15 per month. Why not? I can watch it when I need it. But there are so many of $15 in their monthly payments. Shop, Spotify, Netflix,
Mhm.
phone bill, internet bill. Some are necessary, some are not. But like the fact is, phone bill, internet bill, they're necessary. But some subscription they're not. They thought it is necessary.
Mhm.
So we have to ask the question, is this really necessary? Do you use it that often? How
Mhm.
often you use it? Ask them to reflect on their thought about their needs to for that purchase. And when we do the calculation and when we find some replacements for certain purchase, they're saving more. Normally
Mhm.
they're saving $100, $200 per month. And that could they have more money for their pleasure to plan wisely in the future.
And Eddie, I want to emphasize this point of accumulation.
Hmm.
As we are talking about accumulation in the financial expenses and debt, it looks like this concept can also translate to other accumulation like depression. For
Yes,
example, in depression, the fatigue, the loss of interest, the loss of drive, each of them might not be a lot, but in combination, it
yes,
becomes very, very heavy for the client.
yes. And I often notice that when we talk about their stressor, with the problem they're seeing, they often, one thing I hear very often is, oh, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal.
Mhm.
It's only, I can handle it. They believe they can handle it. They believe they can handle a lot of things, but there are too many of them. And you accumulate until one day they can't. But when they look back to all those problems, each
Mhm.
individual of this problem is manageable. However, there are so many, they don't know which one to start and they collapse.
Okay. And Eddie here, let's go back a little bit to that formula
Yeah.
you mentioned about the four boxes:
Yes.
income, expense,
Hmm.
savings, and debt.
Hmm.
They don't teach it in school, elementary, high school, or university. Have you
Yes.
ever been invited to go into a school to teach this financial education?
No, they don't. Actually, that's the content in our financial classes.
Yeah.
Uh, we have a graph for that. Basically, teach people you need to understand your financial.
Mhm.
And they don't know, oh, why can't I save money? Why am I in so much of debt? And the logic is very simple. But however, nobody taught them and they can't think it themselves. So they got confused, they got lost.
So Eddie here, so let's say if somebody is financially not as aware, they
Mhm,
talk to you, hey Eddie, I have no clue where the money goes,
mhm,
and they discuss with you in the session.
mhm,
And in between the psychotherapy session, are there
mhm.
any tools or phone apps to help them to keep track easier?
Yes, yes. Actually, I believe some major banks already have their apps to track
Oh,
your
wow.
weekly and monthly expenses. And there
Mhm.
are a lot of apps to log your expenses because and they can link it to your bank account. So you don't have to do it yourself. Every time when you spend, it
Wow.
automatically log those expenses.
Oh, okay. So the client can start with just monitoring, seeing,
Yeah,
and capturing those expenses first before even doing anything to a change.
yes, yes. And one good thing with doing review the financial, it is because we don't have to do a lot of things. We simply just ask the question, why you spend this money? Is it necessary? Two questions. And if they're looking at what do I do? Another question is there a cheaper one that I can pick, switch? If they are able to answer all three questions, yes, it's necessary. I can replace with a cheaper one. Then we move on for the next entry on their bank statement or credit card statement.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Eddie here, financial health here, obviously they want to improve or reduce problems.
Mhm.
If somebody said, I don't want to work on the financial debt, what
Mhm.
are some of the potential problems they might see for themselves in 1 year, 5 years, or 10 years?
Okay, so basically, if someone who reach out said, "Oh, I don't have a financial problem," general means they don't have debt for now. And if they are able to keep it, that's good. But with the inflation, eventually they're gonna start thinking about saving and investing. So either way, basically they're gonna think about saving. If everything goes well, no problem. Well, when they get into debt and the debt start accumulating and they thought they can handle it, that problem is when you accumulate debt and won't able to make full payment for your credit card, your credit score drops and you can get credit, more credit for your credit card. You can get another credit card to help you for your monthly expenses. You can do, you can get line of credit to reduce the interest payment, and you can get the promotional credit card to do the balance transfer. So it gets worse. And until one day they realize my income couldn't meet the minimum payment because after paying rent, after paying food, they left with $300, and the minimum payment is like $400 for their car. And they stuck there, and there's very little things a financial advisor can do to help them, other than tell them to say, get a second job, make more income, because the debt is unmanageable. So we can fix the debt with fixed income, work more, get more, earn more money to pay for that, and then we have something to work out.
So Eddie here, it looks like you are talking about the point of no returns.
Yeah.
When you're working with the clients, or do you see that they're approaching, what are some of the signs that people are close to that point of no return? They have to be very careful.
Yes. Yes. It's a very, but however, a lot of people, when they start realizing they have that problem,
Yeah.
often means it's already a little bit too late.
Or already past the point of no returns.
Yes,
Okay.
already past that. I had two clients. One is manageable. He has a actively repayment plan. That's good.
Yeah.
And another one is knows is she needs to do something about their debt, even though it's like $2,000 debt. But she had that debt for over 2 years, and her credit score got affected hugely. She can't get the promotional credit card to do the balance transfer. She's stuck there. And when I asked, what's your payment plan for those things? She said, oh, I have student loan, so I'm also making $80 pay, uh, monthly payment for the student loan. But the fact is, the student loan is 0% interest. You don't have to rush in to repay that immediately. But credit card has 20%. I told her there's one thing you can do. Move that $80 to the credit card, then you're paying back that money faster. But other than that, we don't have a lot to work on because she has zero income and she's on EI. So basically, what I would suggest to a lot of clients is, believe it or not, talk to a financial advisor because normally their services are free. Just to understand your financial better, to prevent something happens. And you may not think it's a big deal, but solving it early is always a better.
Yeah. So Eddie here, I want to talk a little bit more about the financial education at the
Yes.
very beginning of the podcast here.
Mhm.
Let's say for the younger generation, for example, the Gen Z or
Mhm.
even younger clients or younger
Mhm.
population, if they want to learn about financial education, where should they go? Because they cannot learn it from their teachers, from their
Mhm.
schools, or
Mhm.
sometimes the parents are too busy working. Where can they go to find out these resources?
There's a lot of resources on YouTube. However, because we're in
How to
North
find a
America.
good resources on YouTube? Because there's also some resources trying to
Yes,
sell something on YouTube.
yes, yes. Basically, just remember some keywords. I think for younger generation, three things, actually just two things is very important for them. The first thing is do budgeting. They need
Budgeting.
to know, yeah, they need to know their monthly budget and set a very firm amount of money they're gonna spend for that month. Do not exceed that
Mhm.
because that's a way to protect them and knows debt management because for some already in debt, it's a bit
Yeah.
too late to start doing budgeting. So basically, budgeting and debt management are two most important things for younger generation.
Okay. Hopefully they are not in that yet. The
Yes,
younger
hopefully they're not
generation or
in
the
debt
Gen
yet.
Z. Okay.
Yes,
So they can focus on the budgeting, the first item, to not
yes,
exceeding their means.
yes, budgeting and
Okay.
I think if they are able to do budgeting, they're fine because
Okay.
they are able to not spend more than they are allowed to do. But if they are not able to do that, eventually they're gonna have that problem.
Okay. So budgeting, knowing the income, expenses, live within the means, and
Yes,
don't accumulate debt.
yes. And also, we are thinking about doing a series of lecture of
Okay. Yeah.
financial education and put post online. However, the issue will be um, jurisdiction because was about to say often the video you found online, I would say 80% of the the people created content, they're in US. So
Okay.
you're looking at some policy and product, they are only sell in US. So the logic, the
Mhm.
policy, they're different. That's
Mhm.
why I mentioned just to understand the concept of budgeting and risk management, debt management, because those are core knowledge. And
Okay.
if
So
they're,
it can be trans-continent.
yes, yes. And also in Canada, financial advisor only allowed to practice in their licensed province.
Okay. Yeah.
So if I'm about to give out a financial advice or certain product information, I can only give out to people in Quebec.
Okay. Because you are
So
licensed in Montreal, Quebec.
yes, I'm only allowed to do that here. So in our podcast, all this information about budgeting, about debt management, that's okay. But when we dig into certain product,
Mhm.
then I can talk about it. However, if I don't have the license, then I'm not allowed to do.
So Eddie, here, let's go back to that. Because you mentioned 80% of the videos are from the US and also
Mhm,
those specific, more technical financial products for the debt management.
mhm,
If we just not talk about these, focus on the core, the
mhm.
basic budgeting skills for the Gen Z or younger generations,
Yes.
and where can they see your videos of that financial 101 for budgeting, tracking income?
I will create a YouTube channel under my name and post those things online for budgeting and debt management with certain slides to help them understand it better.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So now
Mhm,
let's shift a little bit here towards another categories for
mhm.
seniors,
Seniors.
people who
Yes.
already retired, because we see clients across the ages. How about for
Mhm,
seniors with debt? They already retired, they don't have an income. What
mhm.
are some of the typical strategies to help them?
For senior, it's more complicated because uh, one thing is they are already reached certain age, and it really depends how old are they. So in Canada, if you're age at 65, you're getting one benefit from the government called OAS, Old Age Security.
Mhm,
Basically, the government pays you monthly around, I think, $700, $700 to $800 per month. And if they have worked before, they're looking at to get a pension. So basically, for old age senior, one thing to ask is what asset they have. Do they have a home? Do they have a certain RSP, the Registered Retirement Saving Plan? And
mhm,
how much pension they're looking to get after they at the age to get at the age of 60, the age of 65, and the age of 70,
mhm,
if
mhm,
they are not there yet. And also, what's the reason caused them to get into debt? Is it
mhm,
sickness? Is it disability? Because for this, even for sickness, they can also become as a disability to get the disability
mhm,
benefit for their pension. That's a very important info for pension collecting because
mhm,
if you can be considered as a disability to start collecting that benefit from your pension, it doesn't affect you if you're take it doesn't affect the amount if you're taking prior than 65.
mhm,
So it's a flat rate plus 75% of your pension amount. And let's say if you're unable to work, won't be able to make contribution to the pension, and you're at age of let's say 55. So the pension you're accumulated is around $1,000 per month if you're collecting
mhm,
it at the age of 65. So you're saying, okay, I'm disabled right now. How about I start collecting the benefit? The
mhm,
money
yeah.
they're looking at is flex rate plus 75, so around $1,300 every month from the government until the age of 65. And by the time of 65, the pension amount, it automatically become the pension CPP, the Canada Pension Plan, and the amount adjusts back to the $1,000 plus the old age security.
So Eddie,
So
you were
along,
mentioning about for seniors, they
yes,
have fewer options compared to a younger generation because
yes,
they don't have the income. And you
yes,
were mentioning about it is very important for them to know all these
benefit,
benefits from the government.
yes.
Yeah.
And
If they are not
yeah,
aware of those benefits, who should they talk to? Do they talk to a social worker, financial planner to know all these benefits? They haven't applied yet.
they have to talk to a financial security advisor because
Okay.
often those benefits are directly from the government, and it is some of
Uh,
them is related to a financial product, such
so
as
where do they find those people? Do they cost money?
um financial security advisor usually is also called insurance broker. They can find it on the insurance company website. It's a contact
Okay.
a broker or contact
Okay.
a advisor. And, and they can also go to the bank branch, which is the easiest, talk to the financial advisor there. But however, some banks, it really depends on the person. But
Yeah.
normally they should be able to answer those questions. That's
Okay.
the easiest way to contact them. And for banks, they are free of charge. For financial security advisor, somehow some of them charge a hourly rate between 100 to $170 per hour, but mostly because they are also selling products, their service is also some of them are also free.
Okay. Very good to know here, Eddie.
Hmm.
So Eddie here, we also put the links here for the viewer to download some of the education links here.
Hmm.
So Eddie, we are close to the end here. If you were to give some tips and hacks for financial tips for any clients, what would the top three be?
Hmm. Actually, one first top tip I can give is also same for mental health is take a pause before you spend money, before you think or get into an argument. Ask yourself, is this necessary? Do I really need it before you actually spend money? So you can avoid at least 50% of unnecessary expenses. Two is review your bank statement every once in a while because
Okay.
you're gonna see some very unnecessary expenses and ask yourself, what can I learn from that?
Okay.
Evaluate what actually happened that day made you to make that purchase. If it's under stress, talk to us to figure out what cause triggers that, how you can better manage your stress without spending money. And three is when you start getting debt, when you start thinking, having problem to make full payment to the credit card, and if you don't know what to do, talk to a financial advisor about debt management. It may just be two, $300, but it's never too early to start working on those things.
Oh, there's wonderful tips here, Eddie. Talking about
Hmm.
the prevention, learning
Hmm.
from the past, and
Yeah.
engagement for that,
Yes.
and the mindfulness in all this here.
Hmm. Yeah. There's a lot of similar things in financial and mental health.
Okay. So, Eddie, we are very happy to have you on the podcast today. We would love to have you again here. And if
Hmm.
any of the viewers, people have questions about, they want to talk to you further about
Hmm.
financial education or psychotherapy, what is your contact, phone number, emails, or personal websites?
I have my email. It's gu.counselling at hotmail.com. They
We'll
can
put it in
always,
the comments here for viewers.
yes, yes, I will put into comment. And if they have any questions, they can reach out to me.
Okay. So today we're very happy to have you, Eddie. Wonderful
Thank
tips here, and we look forward to
you.
seeing you again here.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much.
Bye, Eddie.
Bye.